Steve here again. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at two special characters from a sitcom, Ralph and Alf from Green Acres. You remember them. Alf and Ralph Munroes, portrayed by Sid Melton and Mary Grace Canfield, are two quarrelsome carpenters on the classic 60s sitcom Green Acres. In the episode that introduces them, Alf confesses that Ralph is actually his sister. He explains that they wouldn't get jobs if people knew that she's a woman. The Munroes, as Hooterville's resident carpenters, were hilariously incompetent. Their primary running gag involved being hired to remodel Oliver and Lisa Douglas's bedroom, a job they continuously bumbled and never managed to finish over the show's 6-season run. But who were the real people behind these iconic characters? Today we take a closer look at the full lives, the early struggles, and quiet final chapters of Mary Grace Canfield and Sid Melton. Mary Grace Canfield was born on September 3, 1924, in Rochester, New York. She was a shy, bookish child. By the age of 9, after discovering plays, she knew she wanted to become an actress. Her parents were supportive, relieved their daughter had found a clear passion. She studied acting seriously at the Hedgerow Theater in Pennsylvania and began her professional career in summer stock and on the stage in New York. In the early 1950s, she started appearing in television and small film roles. One of her first notable parts was as the maid Angelica in Disney's Pollyanna in 1960, starring Haley Mills. Throughout the 1950s and early 60s, she made guest appearances on shows like The Hathaways, General Hospital, and The Best of Broadway. In 1963, she had a memorable role on The Andy Griffith Show as Thelma Lou's cousin, set up on a blind date with Gomer Pyle, one of the sweetest and most awkward dates in sitcom history. But everything changed in 1965 when she was cast as Ralph Munroes on Green Acres. Wearing bib overalls and a backward painter's cap, Ralph was a woman doing man's work in a time when that was still unusual on television. Her trademark cheerful greeting, howdy doody, and her complete inability to complete a home repair without chaos made her unforgettable. She appeared in more than 40 episodes across the show's 6 seasons. After Green Acres, she continued working into the early 1990s with roles in films like Something Wicked This Way Comes in 1983, and also played Ralph again in the 1990 reunion movie Return to Green Acres. In her later years, she moved to Sedgwick, Maine, a place she had fallen in love with during summer stock theater, before eventually settling in Santa Barbara, California, as her health declined. Sadly, on February 15, 2014, Mary Grace Canfield passed away from lung cancer. She was only 89 years old. She was survived by her second husband, John Bischoff. They were married from 1984 to 2014, and her 2 daughters from her first marriage. Her body was cremated, and her ashes were given to her family. Sid Melton, who played Alf Munroes, was born on May 22, 1917 in Brooklyn, New York. He came from a theatrical family. His father, Isidor Meltzer, was a well-known Yiddish theater comedian. His older brother, Louis, became a successful Hollywood screenwriter. Standing at only 5 feet 3 inches tall, with distinctive features, Sid naturally gravitated toward comedy. He began his career on Broadway in the late 1930s and made his film debut in the early 1940s. During World War II, he entertained troops overseas. Some of his notable early films include The Steel Helmet in 1951 and The Lemon Drop Kid in 1951 with Bob Hope. On TV, he became a familiar face in the 1950s, appearing on Dragnet, The Jack Benny Program, and many anthology shows. One of my favorite Dick Van Dyke episodes was when Sid Melton played an unwanted suitor to Sally Rogers. She should have married him instead of that stupid Herman Glimpscher. His big break came in 1959 when he joined the Danny Thomas Show, later called Make Room for Daddy. As Uncle Charlie Halper, the owner of the Copa Club, he played the role for many years across multiple series. In 1965, he joined Green Acres as Alf Munroes, Ralph's brother and equally disastrous business partner. The two siblings bickered constantly, while failing spectacularly at every repair job. Sid appeared in over 30 episodes and became one of the show's most beloved supporting players. Sid continued working well into his later years, including memorable appearances on The Golden Girls. Sadly, Sid Melton passed away on November 2, 2011 from pneumonia. He was only 94 years old. He is buried at Hollywood Hills Memorial Park. Mary Grace Canfield and Sid Melton spent decades bringing laughter to American audiences, from the stages of New York to the backlots of Hollywood, and finally to the fictional town of Hooterville. They created characters that still make people smile today. Though their on-screen work often ended in hilarious failure, their real-life careers were marked by longevity, professionalism, and quiet dignity. Their passing reminds us of how fleeting even the brightest lights in show business can be. Well, that's it for today. Remember to hit the like, subscribe, the hype button, all that stuff, and I'll see you again next time, unless I come to my own sad ending.